Hey guys, Sandy here and welcome back to my channel. Today I have 3 photos from Carsland in Disneyland at Halloween time last year. So Disneyland is actually still closed right now, guys. Figured I would scrapbook these photos. I am going to use my How to Kill a Kit with Style. So let's see what I can do. Alright guys, I have been on vacation, so my voiceovers are a little bit out of practice, but we're just gonna go for it. Now, I decided to really challenge myself with this layout and not use any pattern paper whatsoever. And if you know me, that's a little bit of a struggle because I love pattern paper. Now, the first thing I decided to do was trim down these photos into 4x4 squares because I had 3 portrait 4x6 photos, and usually they end up going straight across the page, and I wanted to do something a little bit different. But having all that extra photo space was kind of You know what I mean? Like I just wasn't feeling it. So I decided to pull out this old stencil that I have, and I grabbed some of my Nouveau embellishment mousse, and I just went ahead and stenciled the mousse right onto the paper. Now this paper is a solid color paper that came from the project pad that is in my How to Kill a Kit with Style. It is not a thick paper, you guys. It's a thinner paper. It's not as thin as the single sheets we used to buy back in the day at the craft store, but it is thin. So even this little bit of moisture from the embellishment mousse warps it. And that's okay. You know, not every paper has to be the super thick, awesome paper. Otherwise, our scrapbooks would be thick as anything, and I do have some layouts that are super thick, so I need some layouts that are a little bit thinner too. That way I can fit a lot of layouts in my albums, because my albums have turned into multiple years in one album to 1 year in up to 7 albums. So yeah, gotta have the variety of the thickness of the layers. So I also went deep into my stash and grabbed this mist from Maya Road. And it is an old mist, you guys. It is not, definitely not the latest and greatest, but it just shows you that if you have stuff in your stash, you can use it. You don't need to go buy whatever the newest orange mist is, or splatter or paint, when you have something in your stash that is going to work just as well. I did wipe it off a little bit with a paper towel off of my craft mat because I didn't pull out my splatter backs because lazy. Now I did take my paper towel and place it over top of my mousse and rubbed the paper towel, and that kind of took the sheen off of the mousse. It put that paper towel texture into the mousse, so it isn't like super shiny. Doesn't have kind of that mirror type finish. It definitely has some texture and kind of dulls it a little bit, and I like that. Now I decide that I'm going to put my photos up on some fun foam, and this is from my good friend and fun foam dealer, Crystal, and she keeps me definitely piled high with the fun foam. So in keeping with that no pattern paper challenge to myself, I grab another sheet of pattern paper from the project pad. This paper has a little bit more orange in it. It matches the mist that I sprinkled on there pretty good, and I went ahead and trimmed those down to 4.5 by 4.5 inch squares. I did not mat the photos on the paper first like I normally do, because I had 4x4 square photos, so if I had 4.5 inch square photo mats, I knew I would have 1/4 inch of photo mat on each side. Worked out great. Put down my fun foam. I do start to pull out my Nouveau Deluxe adhesive, but instead I go to my ATG. I do add the wet adhesive because I am putting the fun foam directly on top of my mousse, and the mousse is not completely dry yet. I do grab some tulle from my stash as well. This is something that was not in the kit for the month, but I had pulled this out randomly over the weekend to use it to give a certain layout a little bit of texture. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it again on this one. Now, as I'm working through this, my original thought was to have the tulle behind every single photo mat and it just have just a little bit of tulle peeking out. But what I decided to do was to really just accentuate one photo and have all of the tulle that I cut sticking off of that one. So there is a lot of ATG on there, so it's holding the tulle down pretty good to the fun foam. But what it does now is it's going to struggle to stick to my background paper. And that is where the Nouveau Deluxe adhesive comes in. And I am super excited. I am almost finished with the, what is this, the third or the fourth bottle of Nouveau that I have. Don't you guys worry your sweet little heads though. I do have a stash of Nouveau, and it is also something that I am starting to carry in the Scrapping Reflections store. So anytime Nouveau needs to happen, there you go. I am your girl. It's just good stuff. Good stuff. Interestingly enough, I had never had issues with the tip clogging until this weekend when I was doing a very glue intensive layout. I'll show you guys that at the layout share at the end of the month, but I realized that while I was doing it, I left it uncovered. And I usually cover the Nouveau pretty much right away if I'm not using it, so I did get a little bit of a clog. So now I can say that my Nouveau has clogged on me. I am still keeping with that no pattern paper theme, so I'm digging into my ephemera and decorations from my kit. I decided to use this pink fresh wood veneer clip that has been painted and foiled, and I just tuck it underneath of the photo mat, so it's not really a clip anymore, it is just a wood veneer element. I went ahead and trimmed off this floral piece here so you don't see the thanks banner, because, you know, this really has nothing to do with thanks. Unless I'm like, thanks for going to Carsland, you rock, but, you know, that doesn't need to go in there. So then I went ahead and used some of these foam tape squares, and I got those from my other foam dealer, Amber. I have friends that just keep me in adhesive to foam, and they are both awesome. So now I am going to go ahead and flip through my die cuts and try to figure out what I'm going to do. Now this little heart on that little Hello Gorgeous piece is definitely on the orangey side and less of on the red side, and you know what, I figured we can call these decorations gorgeous. We can totally do that. So I went ahead and decided that that was going to go right over top of the photo. I find this floral chipboard piece, and then also the word piece that says memories. I wanted to bring in that striped chipboard piece, but I really didn't have a place to put it that looked right to me, so decided not to do that one. I did pull out the best ever chipboard, layered that over top of the floral piece over here. On the gas can, what is this? The gas can garden, I guess. Anyway, it's really cute stuff, you guys. If you have never been to Carsland during Halloween time, it is definitely something that you need to experience. But like I said earlier, Disneyland is closed right now, so that probably won't happen this year. So go ahead and plan that on your calendar for next. It's a fun time. Seriously, fun time. I've been to Carsland before, and then when you go in, and all the details on the stuff for Halloween was amazing. Like, they made these pumpkins that are in that photo out of tires and funnels, and it's just, the attention to detail is amazing. Disney and their Imagineers, they just get it right every single time. So, yeah. There's my little Disneyland plug for the video. Now these are the Amy Tangerine enamel shapes. Now if you guys remember, these enamel shapes are actually one of the things that kicked off my entire kit. I had found them at Tuesday morning. So I'm going to go ahead and use all 5 of the ones that have the heart shapes. I'm just tucking in them. Okay, we're making up even more new words, okay? Tucking them around the page. I'm kind of even put one underneath of the tool. So I grab my washi tape that's in the kit, and this is basically a black washi tape with transparent dots, and I'm cutting it, or not cutting it, I'm tearing it so you don't see one of the straight cut edges. And I'm just going to tuck those in 3 places around the photos, and I'm thinking this is just giving it a little bit of extra interest because, as you guys know, we're doing the whole no pattern paper challenge on this one. I did decide to add a little bit more decoration up at the top left corner and the bottom right corner. So even though this is basically a center like a center designed layout, and I hate saying things like I designed this because I feel like that really sounds uppity of me, but I'm using kind of like that design principle where it's kind of like bam in the center. But what I do is I basically turn it into a diagonally focus layout from upper left to bottom right. Because I do put that washi down, and then I'm not going to leave it like that because it looks really plain now. Now it looks funky, and it's like, why did you even do that? But I'm not really worried about that. I'm kind of looking for a title, and then I didn't see the title, any of the words in that thicker package, so now I'm going back to my little washi bits. I have these older Amy Tangerine chipboard pieces, and I go ahead and put those down. I make sure that the bigger black flowers have the gold bits on the inside, and the little white circular ones, they are not the gold ones. They just have, like I said, the white bits. I did pull out some tiny word stickers. One says blue skies, one says adventure. Now the blue skies only worked because there is some beautiful blue sky in the cozy cone photo. Now I am having a little bit of trouble because the tool does not want to stay stuck down to the paper. The embellishment mousse is still damp, it's not completely dry, and the Nouveau Deluxe adhesive is also wet still and doesn't want to stay stuck to the paper. So after I created the layout, it was finished. I took some photos of it. I shoved it underneath of my craft mat for a moment, and now I'm standing here. No, I'm not standing. I'm sitting here. Who wants to stand when they do a voiceover? Anyway, I'm sitting here with my hand over top of the photo, putting some pressure on it to kind of make it stick. I do grab these black thickers, and while I'm putting the word Carsland on, I notice there is a terrible amount of thickers on this sticker sheet that are numbers. I mean, that's a lot of numbers, people. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to put the date on this. Every other layout in this album has the date. The title page is going to have the date, but I'm just going to put it on here because, hello, that's a lot of thickers. And otherwise, I'm going to, blow through the letters and still have all these numbers. So I go ahead and put Carsland 2019. And there I am still pressing down on that fun foam with the liquid adhesive. So my journaling says, the attention to detail to deck out Carsland for Halloween was simply amazing. Check out those tire pumpkins. Even the cozy cones and the gas cans got Halloween faces. And you guys, seriously, it's amazing. They are fantastic. They're so great. And if you want to, up in the close-ups, you'll see the little flowers. They have like old-fashioned brake lights as the centers, and I just think it's freaking adorable. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Then ring that bell. You'll get a notification every time I post a new video on the channel. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys again real soon for another video.